Love my new Kini Zamora? Here's Kini to tell you more about how he became a fashion designer.
My name is Kini Okahokuloa Donovan Zamora. My full Hawaiian name means King of the Morning Star. Hawaiian names aren't just given to you just because it sounds nice. Hawaiian name is given to you from the events that's happening around your birth. And my mom really felt like this is the perfect name for this child. I grew up in Liliha, Ku'uluwela housing, and my father was a tire man and my mother worked for Bank of Honolulu at that time. My childhood, as I remember, was amazing. My mother and father didn't have a lot to give us because they were working a 9 to 5, trying to provide for us. They couldn't afford, these things that we would want, like a CD player, those kind of things. Every Friday after they were done work, we knew we were going somewhere that weekend, and that is priceless to me. My mother still brings it up till today that she always used to dress me, but I used to not want to wear what she dressed me in. I always used to take it off and wear my own clothes, so that was the independence that I had. And being an introvert, I wore whatever I wanted to wear. Didn't care what everybody else thought. The earliest age that I can remember was about 4 or 5 years old, and being able to sketch a design, and I fell in love with it. It was just nice to draw dresses, and that's what I used to do a lot of. My mother always used to bring it up, and she still brings it up till today, then reminding me that, you used to sketch these kind of things. She saved a couple of them and brought it up to me and was like, I saved these things and for this very moment where I could show you, later on in life that you were sketching at this age. So it was open in our family that being creative and being in this lifestyle of design and creativity was okay. I was about 10 years old when I learned how to sew. Me and my cousins had this sewing class. My aunt was the teacher. We all went to the sewing class every Thursday, which lasted 2 Thursdays with my other cousins. First day, there was about 10 of us there, and we just practiced on a piece of paper. We're so excited because we could touch a sewing machine. It was dangerous because there was a needle there, so I think that was the excitement. By the second class, there was me and maybe 3 of my other cousins that came back for the sewing class. And then by the third class, it was basically just me there. So she taught me how to do the basics. She really nurtured everything that I know till today. She taught me how to look at a pattern and manipulate patterns, which grew into a pair of shorts, jam shorts. And once I knew how to do that, it just escalated. My mother didn't buy me school clothes, she bought me fabric, and I made my school attire for the whole year. When I was 15 years old, I kind of put 2 and 2 together. I could see my artwork, these sketches of the designs, really come to life when I could create it when I started sewing. So now I could see my imagination in my mind being put to paper, being created into a 3D image, and kind of show everyone what's going on in my mind. This machine is my baby. Everyone always looks at it and is like, oh my gosh, does this thing still run? It looks so old. But I feel like the older machines run a lot better than the new ones. Problems that occur with the machines in Project Runway, I think they don't realize what we do on the show, and they just give you a general machine and say, here, this is a machine we think will work for every single project that you do. And we have to find that out on our first challenge when we break in our own machine. The foots weren't the right foots that I used. The needles weren't the right needles. It wasn't threaded correctly, so it was breaking all the time. Bobbins weren't in the right way, so I really had to choose one machine and really service it to how I use it and kind of kapu it as being my machine and nobody has to touch it. So before going into the show, I already had a small business. You have to do a lot of shopping, and that's research. So whenever I see a piece of clothing, I really don't look at the design first. I look at the construction. Again, my first thing goes to is, how did they make that thing? If it questions me, that means they took a lot of time to do. Going to the show, I think it really did help me being a procrastinator. Knowing that you have 8 hours to create a look, it really helped me out because I was doing this before. It's really trusting your judgment and believing in what your design aesthetic is. You have to really think of all of these elements of surprises and be ready for it. The collection that I recently just launched is our Spring-Summer collection. So this is our Spring-Summer collection. It's inspired by boho and dynasty. We just launched this at Honolulu Fashion Week in November. So you can come on down and view the collection, see each piece. We are open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, Saturdays from 9 to 2, and we're closed on Sundays. So we also have our Hawaii collection. I designed a print. We work with graphic artists to do a layout, and then we get the print printed overseas, and then we manufacture the designs here. Our clientele for this print is our local customer. She likes to be relaxed, and this is the girl that goes out on the weekends to the family parties, so this is our local clientele. Our Hawaii collection is geared more towards our plus size collection. It's very forgiving, stylish. That's what I like to focus on. Give them a lot more options, and I feel like that's a void here in Hawaii. Getting away from that whole muumuu stereotype and giving them something more stylish, and putting my touch on with my print and my design. My company is broken up into 3 different type categories. We have our Hawaii collection, which is our everyday girl that can range from our teenager to our plus size clientele. And then we have our ready-to-wear collection that is more of our high-end pieces, more New York inspired pieces. And then we have our custom that deals with our weddings, proms, balls, anyone that wants to go out and be really fancy and get a custom-made piece from me. Getting the call to be on Project Runway All-Stars Season 5, to be really honest, shocked me. And the first reaction in my mind was, no, I won't do this again. And then my business mind, of course, came into play, and I was like, this is going to be great for the business. This opportunity is just going to give more notoriety, not only to the Kini Zamora brand, but to Hawaii itself. I jumped at it and was all for it and said yes. Well, you can catch Project Runway All-Stars Season 5 on Lifetime. The first episode starts airing on February 11th. It's going to be an amazing season, just looking at the panel of judges.
In Part 2 next month, Kini Zamora will tell us more about the Project Runway experience. Let's hope he wins!